move we're going to be learning is the crisscross, and it looks a little something like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so let's start by playing around with this movement here. Coming into the middle and out, into the middle and out, into the middle and out, into the middle and out. Okay, now we're gonna add in some technique. Let's start by keeping a small bend in our knees, all right? Weight in the center, so not too far forward or too far back. Heels slightly raised, not too high off the ground, otherwise you'll lose your balance, just slightly. So it feels like you've got a spring in your step. You should feel quite light and bouncy just on the balls of your feet. Okay, now that we've got the light bounce, what we're gonna add in is the pivot. So heels going in and out, in and out. In our intermediate position, okay, so this is our transition, we're gonna have our toes pointing in. And as you can see, my knees are coming in, almost as if like I have to have a wee. From here, I'm gonna do a small hop and I'm gonna cross in the middle, really bringing my thighs quite close together. This is also gonna help me with my balance. And it makes that nice shape at the bottom that you can see. And then back out again, all right? I'm gonna push off my toes and spring into the middle and back. Now start to make those hops smaller and smaller. So you're just jumping off the floor, just coming off, up and down, 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 up and down. Okay, so let's practice that from the back. We're gonna go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So keeping yourself light and bouncy is super important. It's gonna help you go a lot quicker. So let's practice that move, gradually picking up the pace. We're gonna start off with 1 and 2 and 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 1 and 2. Nice one, well done you guys. So if you're feeling like your feet are getting a little bit tangled, a bit confused, that's absolutely fine. It does take some time to get used to these moves. The most awkward part is becoming used to this pivoting of the constant in and out. So the more you practice that, the easier the step is going to become. So if you can't go super fast just yet, that's absolutely fine, don't stress. Shuffling takes some time and practice. So what I recommend you do is practice the songs with lower BPM, like hip hop songs. They're absolutely great for beginners, just while you're getting used to the moves, and then gradually build up to faster BPMs. The next move we're going to learn is the Charleston. So this move, I like to think, is a combination of the running man and your crisscross, because you're doing the same moves as the running man, the to the middle and back, to the middle and back. So this constant changing of the foot from front to the middle to the back, but you're doing it with a pivot, just like in crisscross. So you see how the foot comes from the front to the middle, then to the back. Okay, so that won't make much sense right now if you haven't done the running man before, but let's break it up. Let's come back to practicing our pivots. So again, light on the feet, knees bends. Okay, and what we're gonna do is every time our toes come in, we're gonna pick up a leg and then toes out, put the foot down. And then again on the other side and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And just play with this move for a little bit, get used to it. Gradually go a little bit faster, up, down, up, down, up, down. And now taking away the hop, we're gonna add more like a drag, a twist to the floor from the ball of our foot. Okay, so you're creating friction on the floor here. All right, and now we're starting to get a feeling for what the Charleston's gonna be. Next step, we're gonna balance on one leg. If this is too much for you, you can put your toe down on the floor just to help your balance. Okay, toes facing in. And then we're gonna drag the leg that we're balancing on to the back and cross the one on my right at the front. And again, we're going to drag to the middle so it's underneath us to help us balance. And then we're going to place it in front. Drag to the middle, place it in front. Drag to the middle, place it in front. So from the side, it looks like this. Middle, front, middle, front. Down, up, and down. So once this starts to feel comfortable for you, you can then begin to pick up your leg. Okay, remember, keep your knees quite close together. The closer your thighs are, The tighter it's gonna feel, the more balance you're gonna have. Okay, and let's do a few of those from the back. So the counts here are, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. Faster, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and faster, 2, 1, and 2, 1, and 2, 1, and 2, faster, 2, 1, and 2, 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. So you'll notice every time I cross, I'm really keeping my thighs super close together, again, to make that lovely shape at the bottom. And at the side when I'm picking up, okay, my legs are not far apart, keeping them really, really close because this helps maintain my balance. And that's the Charleston. So again, practice to a slow BPM, or for now, just practice without music because you're still learning the steps. And then once you're comfortable, put a slow song on, something that you like, and get yourself shuffling. And the last move, one of my favorites, is the W step. And it looks like this: 1, and 2, and 1, and 2, and 1, and 2. Okay, so this is a two-part move. You've got the heels and the cross. So you're hitting the kick drum, hi-hat, the clap, the hi-hat, the kick drum, hi-hat, the clap, and the hi-hat. So that will sound something like this: boom, clap, boom, clap, boom, clap, boom, clap, and boom, clap. Let's break the step down. Let's start by first doing this little hop. We're gonna go hop, hop, and onto our heels. Hop, hop, onto our heels. Hop, hop, heels. Hop, hop, heels. For the heels, what we're doing is a small little bounce and turning our toes outward and coming back down. Turning our toes outward and coming back down. And again, when we come down, we land in this position with our knees bent and our toes facing in. When we go out, we push out to the side and back. When we're in this position, we're never in this position for too long. So if you feel like you're losing balance, don't worry about it. It's a very quick move. It's ka and back, ta and back. Now what we're gonna do from this intermediate, we're going to jump and cross in the middle, okay? And then we're going to hop back and out. Return to our intermediate, first position, intermediate, second position. Return, intermediate, first position, intermediate, second position. Return and cross. Let's practice a few of those. So we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. And you can continue to alternate legs here, and 2. So I'm gonna go left in front and 2, and right in front and 2, and left in front and 2, and right in front and 2. All right, so following from the back, we're gonna go 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Faster. 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. Faster. 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, and 1 and 2, and 1 and 2. So again, just like all moves, they take a bit of practice, especially this one because it's a two-part move and you have to get used to those transitions in between each step. They need to be done, otherwise the step's gonna feel like out of control and not making any sense. So we have to hit those inward, cross, come back, out, in, cross, in, out. Okay, so it's time to put all those moves together into a little combination, starting with the Charleston. This is what it's gonna look like. We're gonna go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. So the Charleston to start, crisscross, ending in a W step. Now remember, keep those pivoting legs, knees bent, light and bouncy on the toes, thighs close together, and remember your transitions. So starting with the right leg, we're gonna go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Okay, a little bit slower. We're gonna go and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Right, following from behind. Nice and slow. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and okay, picking up the speed. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and all right, tempo speed, let's go. 5 6 7 8 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and fantastic. I know you guys are absolutely smashing it back home. Those are our 3 foundational cutting shapes moves. So what we're gonna do now is practice our new moves to the song that I was playing at the beginning. I know what you're thinking, Gina, it's a really fast song and I'm not ready. It's okay, you don't have to go full speed. Just hit musicality in the song that you can pick up. So maybe you're hitting every second beat or the vocals. Listen to the music and play around going at the speed you're comfortable with. During this practice, you don't necessarily have to stick to the routine that I showed you. You can mix it up. So you can go from your crisscross to your Charleston to your W step and even hit double W steps. You can even go double crisscross, in and out, in and out, in and out, double Charleston, just tapping at the front, tapping at the front. So play around with the moves, experiment, have fun, in no particular order. Let's go.